This dog never worked, never woke up to an alarm, never faced traffic, never heard a boss yelling, never worked overtime hoping something would be left at the end of the month. Even so, he lives better than you. And this isn't gratuitous provocation. It's a necessary shock. Because while millions of people spend their entire lives chasing money, this dog is still calm, comfortable, surrounded by everything most people associate with success. The question that needs to be asked isn't why he lives like this, but why you don't. In the first second, the brain tries to reject the idea. It seems unfair. It seems exaggerated. It seems like just a funny metaphor. But the more the story progresses, the more uncomfortable it becomes. Because this dog doesn't represent luck, inheritance, or a miracle. He represents position. And position has always beaten effort in the money game. While you exchange time for salary, the dog exchanges nothing. He's simply in the right place. He is the asset. He is what receives value, without needing to move. And that changes everything. Because the financial system wasn't designed to reward those who work hardest. It was designed to reward those who occupy strategic positions. The dog understood this without ever studying finance. He's just there, and that alone is enough. From early on, most people are trained to believe the path is linear. Study, work, climb steps, earn a little more, spend a little more, repeat the cycle. This path creates income, but doesn't create wealth. Income requires constant presence. Wealth requires structure. The dog doesn't have income. He has structure, and that's why he can sleep while money continues circulating around him. Observe the difference carefully. When you stop working, money stops coming in. When the dog stops, nothing changes. The flow continues. Not because he's special, but because he doesn't depend on his own effort to exist within the system. He's sustained by something greater than work. He's sustained by a mechanism. And this is where most people get lost. Because working is visible. It's tiring. It gives a sense of merit. But building mechanisms is silent. It doesn't bring immediate applause. It doesn't generate social validation. While someone proudly shows they work 12 hours a day, nobody notices who spent years building something that now runs itself. The dog lives off this invisibility. For years, the dominant discourse taught that dignity comes from hard work. And this is true in moral terms, but it's a trap in financial terms. The system doesn't pay dignity. It pays efficiency. It pays scale. It pays control. The dog is neither dignified nor undignified. He's efficient within the game, and that's why he wins. Notice how the dog never runs, never panics, never reacts to the short term. While humans panic with crises, inflation, economic changes, the dog remains in the same place, because those who depend on salary react to the present. Those who depend on position control the future. That's the invisible difference that separates those who survive from those who thrive. The mistake isn't in working. The mistake is believing that working is enough. The dog doesn't prove that work is useless. He proves that work without strategy is an infinite cycle. People work entire decades and remain vulnerable to any setback. The dog is immune to this because his financial existence doesn't depend on continuous effort. Also observe another important thing. The dog doesn't show off to compete. He doesn't need to prove anything. The gold chains aren't to show status. They're just a visual symbol of something already resolved. Those who still need to prove wealth usually don't truly possess it. Those who already occupy position don't need to convince anyone. Meanwhile, millions of people live trapped in what could be called a financial hamster race. They earn a little more, spend a little more, take on new responsibilities, create new obligations, and return to the starting point. The dog never entered that wheel. He never increased costs because he never needed to compensate frustration with consumption. There's a specific moment when a person's financial life is defined. It's when they realize the problem isn't earning little, but depending too much on their own energy to survive. As long as money only comes when you're present, you're replaceable. The dog isn't replaceable. He's a fixed point of the system. And this leads to an uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't poor due to lack of effort, but due to lack of structure. They were trained to sell time, not to build positions. They were taught to follow paths, not to design systems. The dog never followed any path. He simply occupies space. The most curious thing is that the system rewards exactly this behavior. Those who control assets control flows. Those who control flows control decisions. Those who control decisions control their own time. The dog controls time because he doesn't depend on it to generate value. And time is the most expensive asset of all. While you think about how to earn more next month, the dog is positioned to earn continuously over the next years. While you react to the game's rules, the dog benefits from them, not because he's smarter, but because he plays a different game. This video isn't about becoming a rich dog overnight. It's about realizing that the traditional model of eternal effort has a clear limit. There comes a point when working more doesn't generate more freedom, just more wear. The dog never crossed that limit because he never entered it. There's a fundamental difference between people who accumulate money and people who accumulate freedom. Money can come and go. Freedom depends on not needing to exchange life for survival. The dog accumulated freedom first. Money came as a consequence. And every time someone laughs at the idea of a dog living better than humans, it's because they still believe the game is fair. It isn't. It's logical. And logic has no morals. It simply rewards those who understand its rules. The dog doesn't wake up early. Not because waking up early is wrong, but because he doesn't need to. He doesn't chase opportunities. Opportunities pass through him. He doesn't make short-term plans. He's structured for the long term. And that's what makes him unreachable for those who live only on active income. While most discuss salaries, the dog thinks about position. While some fight for promotions, he consolidates control. While others live hoping for stability, he's been stable for a long time. There's no rush when the system works in your favor. The most important point of all is that the dog isn't an unreachable being. He's a symbol, an uncomfortable mirror. He shows that the problem isn't in the world, nor in the government, nor in the market. It's in the mental model taught as standard. The question that remains isn't why this dog lives better than you. The real question is, why do you still accept playing a game that demands more and more from you and returns less and less? As long as this question isn't asked, the dog will continue there, still calm, living better than those who never stop. And in the end, perhaps the greatest irony is this. The dog never worked, but he understood something that millions of workers were never taught to understand. And as long as that doesn't change, he'll continue winning the game without even getting up from his chair.